So there she is mounted back on the base. I got a few touch-up spots underneath I gotta hit. And scratch it over here just from flipping it over to mount the base on it. I will clean up these bolts as much as I can. I mean nuts, excuse me. I don't think I'm gonna make the stupid little things. Those are useless anyway, and they've got, you know, these are made with hex heads on them, so I actually think a stainless acorn nut would be pretty cool. Might even go for that later. But for right now, I'll just clean these up as best I can. Right now, I'm going to go and start working on the handle. Like I said, it's rough. You know, probably could be rebuilt, but I'm just going to clean it up for now. Alright, the battery ran out on me while I was fooling around with this guy, but I think I got it pretty doggone straight. See a little bit of movement there. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not to where I would want to run this in the lathe, but it's good enough for me to clean it up, and that's what I wanted. So I was at the scrapyard about a year ago, and somebody had laid this stock out. This is copper. They had a 15-foot, 10-foot length of it. And I'm thinking copper jaws. That's my plan. So I've got this copper scrap that I want to use for vise jaws, and a couple of interesting things. One, it was really tough to cut it in the bandsaw. I've never worked with copper stock like this. I know it work hardens. I mean, I know it's a different beast to work with. I've just never worked with it before, so I might do some searching and YouTubing and what before I slap it in the Bridgeport. I'm not going to be trying to cut to a particular dimension. What I'm going to be trying to do is square it up with as minimal removal as possible. And I want to make sure I do each side, you know, the same so that they match. And I'm probably going to end up having to shim because it's right at the edge already. So I'll probably have to put like a little key stock or something like that and solder it to the jaw in order to raise it up to where I would like it to be. You know, this is just what I've got. I'm sure if I ordered that from McMaster Car or something, it'd be like $100 or something. But you know, it was scrapyard stuff, so cheap. Even deburring this thing is not, his stuff is not easy. Alright, so this is what I wound up with. It's feeling pretty good. I think for these purposes it'll be just fine. You know, it's not perfect by any means. This dimension is shorter than it needed to be. I made a mistake. I had some chips caught, like you can see right there, there's indentations. Had some chips caught in there, so this was cockeyed, and I took a bad cut that I then had to erase and do the same on the other one. So both of these faces are cut deeper than they needed to be. But so this is my tallest dimension here, and I'll go over to the other shop and see how I'm looking in the vise. Pretty sure I'm going to need some kind of little shim or something to hold it up, and then I'll come back here and trim up the sides. Yeah, so when I cut this stock down, I wasn't trying to reach a dimension, I was just trying to preserve as much as I could while keeping it square. So even with doing that, they wound up coming just under the jaws, and I don't like that. So I was considering some options. Anyway, what I came up with, I had some of this scrap metal laying around. I made these little shims. That'll go down there like that. And so I think what I'm going to do, since I really like the way that works out, it gives me just that little bit above the cast metals where you're contacting the copper. That's what I want. So that fit is about perfect. I think what I'll do is just dab a little epoxy onto those shims and set this all in place, tap it down, let it cure, and then those shims will live on the jaws. I don't want to do anything permanent to the jaws because, you know, down the road somebody might want to just buy a set of, you know, standard Wilton jaws. You can get them on eBay for like 50 bucks, and I want them to go right back in there where they're supposed to. So, I mean, I actually like the idea of having copper jaws. To me, it's not a compromise, it's a feature. It's what I want. So this will be good for me, I think. Maybe I'll change my mind. Who knows? day. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's ready to. Actually, the epoxy, I'm sure contacted back here some. Come up. Yeah, I think that'll do the job. All right. There it goes. Well, I got lucky. These pins are so chewed up that, you know, this one's bent. That just shows you how hard I had to fight to get those jaws out of there. The Vise originally. But like, where am I going to find stock like that to make? And you know, of course you can turn something down, but you can see it's like 308, and then with the knurling 312. That's the knurling on the end. If you can see that, you see that. Anyway, when searching through, you know, my junk drawers, and this old door hinge, or pin for the door hinge, happens to be exactly right. And it is straight. If you look from the side on my surface plate, and she's not moving around at all. That may be right there, and that is from this little blemish. A little teeny blemish is causing something, but other than that, she's straight. So I'll cut myself a couple of pins out of this and rock on. Pulling that 0. Try a repeat. Oh, a little too far. Pulling that 0. So I'm 4.5 thousandths from the last mark. Let's see. Good. Oh, right there. Yeah. I am 2 thousandths from my last mark. There we go. And I am half a thou from my last mark. Let's try that again. And I am on my mark. And I am looking pretty true. Remember to call that good. Alright, I got my 5/16 drill in place, and I'm using this piece of scrap to do my first test set of holes to make sure I've got my measurements right. Got a 5/16 drill bit. I am on my 0 to the back edge, so I'm going to come in 500 thousandths. There we go. That is spot on. Alright, I'm not, since this is aluminum, I'm not even center drilling it. Just going right in. Now I'm going to come up 1/2 of 2.375. Alright, here's the magic moment to see if this works or not. That's more than I want. I wonder if I got my bottom mixed up. That's a snug fit right there. Yeah, so it turns out I had it backwards. The bottom is that way. So the measurements are good. I can proceed. I just need to be more careful with my marking. Well, that was unexpected. Alright, I moved the mill to low gear, and I'm gonna... Whoa! Now we're in reverse. How did that happen? That is completely messed up. How did we go into reverse all of a sudden? Alright, I'm learning a new thing. I don't think I've ever used my low gear, but apparently the low gear is a reverse gear. So I'm going to have to... I actually have to unplug my inverter before I switch it to reverse. Stand by. Alright, here goes nothing. Okay, we're in forward. I'm in low gear, which means I can crank up the speed of the motor and hopefully won't stall out this time like I did last time. I've never had that happen before, but I've never worked with copper, so it's not that surprising. Jesus. Alright, let me stop this and get rid of that nasty ass chip. It looks like it wants to break my drill bit. Good Lord, that is a hell of a chip. Yeah, copper is a bitch. Ooh. What do you think my chances are that thing won't break on me? Think I ought to go for a mill? You know what I'm really not looking forward to now all of a sudden? Is counterboring this thing. Ooh. Alright, so not sure if you can see it, but I've got a 1/4 inch mark down there. Don't really even need it because this piece of stock, I mean it's a high-speed steel bit, is a 1/4 inch. And that's what I want to leave at the bottom. So just touching that, and I want to set my stop, which of course I don't have the handy dandy cool thing that Mr. Pete showed how to make. I've still got the old-fashioned thing that you gotta roll all the way up. I know, first world problems, right? I've honestly never really been super stoked about the way this thing locks. It never seems really super locked. It seems like I can always move it. But maybe I got it good that time. Alright, let's see. Checking my key stock down below, not my key stock, but my bit, and it does slide with clearance. Yep, okay. I think we're good. I don't think that's going to move. Yeah, okay. Alright. Everything else about this job with this copper has been a surprise. Let's hope for no surprises in this operation. because this is the last operation. And I've still got the mill in back here, going slow and steady. God, I love these chips. And we're there. All right. Appears to have worked. I'm happy. There we go. So far so good. Yeah, they're not going to have a lot of bite. I need to get some longer ones of these, but for right now, let's just see if they'll actually mate up. Yeah, that's about it. We are calling this guy done for now. Woo!